Finished second to Roatinsky last week in the West Regionals.
The first half mile of any cross-country race is very important because they go from that wide starting area right down to a narrow race course, and everyone likes to get into good racing position, especially a field this well matched.
Yeah, there's only 32 guys in this field, though, so, you know, not the numbers that these guys are used to running against, but the quality is so much better. 32 guys that are all pretty evenly matched, and so nobody wants to lollygag around. They all want to stick their nose in it and know that they cannot afford to fall off the pace.
Again, the second number on the jersey represents the place that an athlete finished in his regional. Therefore, Joshua Bacard, number 68, was the 8th and final qualifier in the Northeast Regional 2 weeks ago at Van Cortlandt Park, New York City. We'll have more of the boys' race when we return. Welcome back to the Walt Disney World Resort for the 21st running of the Footlocker National High School Cross Country Championships. And we have Ian Dobson from Klamath Union High School in Oregon, second place finisher in the West Regional last week, right to the front, and this is something which he has done traditionally.
Ian Dobson, very solid runner. He was 7th at the Footlocker finals last year. He likes to go to the front. He's a strength runner. He goes and pushes the pace, and he just runs other guys into the ground. That's Josh Roatinsky, number 91 from Utah, from the West, who won the West Regional, looking also very good. And number 97, Eric Logston from Canby High School, Canby, Oregon.
Oregon 1-3 as the boys begin to develop in their competition. Ian Dobson, number 92, in front. He was the front runner last year before fading late, but this being his second trip to the Nationals is giving him more experience than he had last year, on top of which his coach is Marnie Mason Johnson. She herself was a finalist at the Footlockers from 1984, also for Klamath Union High School.
Last year's race, I was kind of here just for the experience. I mean, I went out and raced hard, but was kind of like maybe a little bit overwhelmed and kind of naive too, I think, because I went out and took the lead. And I've been doing more volume this year, about 10 to 15 miles a week more this year. So I feel like I'm a lot stronger, and I think I'm just going to be able to race a lot smarter, be able to go out and let somebody else do the work for a while, and then try to make a move rather than just trying to run away from everybody, which in a field like this you're not going to be able to do at the beginning.
Well, despite what Ian said, he is in the front, but sometimes you just find yourself in the front. It's not a matter of you working to get it. You just find yourself there, although he looks like he's running pretty hard right now. In second place right now, Alan Webb in the green. He was the South winner, and he is what a lot of the people figured would be the guy to win this race. He, last year, as a sophomore, broke Jim Ryan's sophomore mile record. He's got the speed. If he's with some people at the end, look for Alan Webb.
Webb ran 4:06 as a sophomore. That record by Jim Ryan stood 36 years. There's a credential, and he had tremendous confidence before the competition.
Big difference between a mile on the track and 5,000-meter cross-country race. However, we'll see how his strength holds him through.
Last year, Massachusetts mile great Andy Powell was one of the odds-on favorites, and he did not have a good race. And traditionally as well, the South has not fared very well at the national level.
And they're past the first mile in a very speedy 4:37. They came through in 4:51 last year, so almost 15 seconds up on course record pace.
It's like they're trying to take the kick out of Alan Webb, who looked very comfortable on this flat course.
It's got a lot of turns, but I think that's okay because I'm pretty good at changing gears and stuff like that. I mean, it might affect some of the taller guys, maybe a little bit. I'm not just guessing, but I mean, if I just go out there and give it my all, yeah, I'm the only guy that can win.
Real confidence indeed by number 71, Alan Webb, but sometimes you need that bit of a swagger, especially if you're a good mile or 1,500-meter type, and he's hanging very tough right now as Ian Dobson continues to hammer the lead.
Matt Teagencat, number 82, only 5 seconds behind Ritzenheim in the Midwest final. The Midwest is ganging up along with the West in that lead pack. Again, the Northeast and the South, except for Alan Webb, nowhere to be seen. But last year, George Torres from Illinois won this race from the front and comfortably. This year, we've got 7 cobbled together, and they've drawn free from the chase pack. And the surprise in there is number 86, Tim Keller, out of West Chicago Community High School. His 6 tells you he was 6th in his regional final, and here he is in the top 7 in the national.
The other runner in red, number 91, Josh Roatinsky, was the winner of the West Regional. He's lurking off the shoulder of the leaders, and it looks almost like he's biding his time, waiting for his point in the race to make his move.
joining the front now, number 83, Don Sage, only third in the Midwestern Final, the Illinois State 2A champion. Even though he was third at the Midwestern Final, he had his eye on this race.
Well, in the regional, I was definitely trying to run my hardest, but I knew that the most important race is the final, so I wasn't probably as focused and prepared for the regional as I will be for this weekend. But definitely, I mean, I think I ran a strong race at the regional, and I think Jason and Matt Tagenkamp just had great races as well, so it'll be fun to see what happens.
And that lead pack now is down to 6. Surprisingly, pre-race favorite Alan Webb has faded to 8th place.
And Dan Koval, who's the Northeast champion, is just in front of him, trying to bridge up and join that group. But Ian Dobson, who's been leading since the gun, refuses to relent on his pacing. He continues to push, and now has pushed himself in front by about 5 meters.
When I see someone like this, it makes me think he's maybe a little bit suspect of his sprinting ability. I think he's probably one of these strength runners that wants to stretch things out, and he's certainly putting the hurt on guys right now.
Rotinsky, number 91, also from the West, is also another guy who doesn't have confidence in his sprint. We'll see how it turns out after this. New Balance Race of the Month is brought to you by New Balance Performance Athletic Shoes. Achieve New Balance. And by Footlocker. It's the 21st annual Footlocker Cross Country Championship with about 800 meters to go, and Ian Dobson from Klamath Union High School in Oregon continues to lead, but now it's Dathan Ritzenheim, the Midwest champion, who's starting to challenge to that lead. As the other runners, and here's Alan Webb, dead-legged, coming across that final bridge, a real surprise today. But here's Dathan Ritzenheim, who we haven't talked that much about. He's going by Dobson with about 500-600 meters to go and putting on his bid to win this race. Does Dobson have anything left? He's done all the work.
Ritzenheim certainly looks very solid at this point in the team competition. The blue of the Midwest has 5 runners in the top 10. The West, a strong second, 3 in the top 10.
But again, the Northeast is falling behind, and that's really the home of cross-country in the United States. I'm a little surprised by that. But again, as we look at the course record time run last year by George Torres, 15 minutes and 16 seconds, these guys are running well under course record pace, and not just Mr. Ritzenheim from the Midwest, but about 10 or 15 guys behind him as well.
Dathan Ritzenheim is all out at this point. He's got less than 200 to go. He has put Ian Dobson totally away, and unless he falls, he is going to win the Footlocker Championship.
Dathan Ritzenheim past 3 miles, a tenth to go. He's only a junior out of Rockford High School in Rockford, Michigan. This means he'll only be the second junior in 21 years to win the Footlocker national title. Dobson holding on in second. Sage is running with Rotinsky for 3rd place. But it's Ritzenheim who stayed right into that pack the entire way. A brilliant exercise of a strategy to win the title. And his time is 14 minutes, 29 seconds, a course record by nearly 45 seconds. Sage nips Dobson for 2nd, Rotinsky in 4th, Tagenkamp from the Midwest in 5th.
These guys put it all out on the line. They're exhausted.
Well, there's Tim Keller, a great race for the 6th place finisher in the Midwest. Dan Koval from the Northeast. And Dathan Ritzenheim left it all out on the course.
How you feeling? Want water? Yeah. Okay.
The heart rate of maybe, what, 600-700?
That's a great feeling, though, just to know that you can collapse. Look how tight this battle was for 2nd place as Don Sage just nips Ian Dobson. Again, the two going to be teammates at Stanford next year. And Josh Rotinsky finishes up in 4th place. And again, Ian Dobson did most of the work for this, but I think he's going to feel pleased. Dathan Ritzenheim just had a tremendous finish to outkick him for the victory.
As we look at the results, it must have been personal bests for all these young men. 15 of them under the old course record. 14:29 is a spectacular time for one this young.
Obviously, great conditions, but these guys a much deeper field than I think we've had in years past.
Well, there's our 2 champions. Victoria Chang, Dathan Ritzenheim.